Hi, I'm Mayor David Black, and welcome to City Happenings. The city says a fond farewell, and it's tinged with sadness, to longtime Public Works Director Marty Lemming. He's retiring. He served the city for 43 years. Thank you, Marty. In our third part of a three-part series, we take a look at the National Citizen Survey. A local children's author speaks about new published and new technology. All of these stories are next in City Happenings for the week of January 29th.
Thanks, Mayor Black. After a 43-year career with Public Works, including being named the department director, the city says goodbye to Marty Lemming.
Recognizing the retirement of Marty Lemming, Public Works Director, and honoring him for 43 years of outstanding service to the City of Papillion. Whereas Marty Lemming began his career in Public Works with the City of Papillion on October 30th, 1974. There's people in this room that weren't born. And was promoted to Public Works Director on November 17th, 1989. Still people that weren't born. Whereas Marty has faithfully and conscientiously served the City of Papillion and its citizens for 43 years, during which period of time numerous projects were initiated through his leadership that will continue to have an impact on the City of Papillion for years to come. And whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community, and the City of Papillion has benefited greatly because of Marty's leadership in guiding the Public Works Department. And whereas Marty has worked tirelessly for the betterment of the Papillion Public Works system, which contributes to the health, safety, and comfort of this community, and he cares genuinely for and appreciates his employees and colleagues. And whereas Marty received the 2017 Leader of the Year Award from the Nebraska chapter of the American Public Works Association and achieved lifetime membership with the American Public Works Association in December of 2017. And whereas Marty has been a valuable and dedicated employee, and his legacy of knowledge and service to the City of Papillion would carry on. Now therefore, I, David P. Black, Mayor of the City of Papillion, do hereby present this proclamation to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Marty Lemming for over 43 years of dedicated service and countless contributions to the City of Papillion. We wish Marty and his family the very best in retirement. Thank you.
See, Marty's one of those guys that's a giver. He gives unselfishly and without regret. He doesn't think about himself first. He just thinks about how he can help the circumstances and other people, regardless of the situation.
You have made such a difference with your constant optimism, enthusiasm, and willingness to help. We will really miss you. Thank you for the warm wishes and your kind words to me. That means a lot. Thank you. But again, you have set the bar very high for all of us to follow. We will do our very best to follow in your footsteps. But thank you again for everything you've done for me personally and for the City of Papillion.
The city has been working with the results of the National Citizen Survey. In this final part of a three-part series, Mayor Black gives his thoughts.
I'm not a huge person on surveys, but what intrigued me about the National Citizen Survey the first time is things were going really well, and we were making some big decisions based on what we thought we were hearing from the community. But on one of those decisions, I just threw out the random question to the staff of, what if we're wrong? So we're getting ready to make a pretty big decision on what we think the community is saying, and I thought we were right, but it was just, but what if we're wrong? And so that put us on the path a little bit. Well, how do you validate that? And that's where we learned about the National Citizen Survey.
The survey, conducted by National Research Center, has been around for about 15 years.
They are scientific surveys, they're tested questions, they're refined questions, they drive the bias out of the question, it's blind sampling, it is a true scientific survey. And so we investigated it. The cost was very reasonable, and the first time we did it and the results we got back, it was incredible, the insight we got. And so that was done about 5 years ago. And we've been doing a lot since then. We've seen a lot more growth than we've had before. We're doing some big projects. And we just thought, now that we have a baseline, and there's still been a lot of change going on through growth, it might be a good time to test again. And that was the purpose of doing it again.
Here's what the survey tells us.
We're communicating very well, and we have a lot of great interaction with the community, and what we know was validated.
One of the things that stood out is
People really trust, people really feel safe, people really appreciate what they have. Everything is great.
the surprise is the level of citizen engagement.
Really low level of people who volunteer, people who are part of a civic organization. I believe the number was 2 out of 3 people have not volunteered in the last year. 3 out of 4 have not been part of a civic organization.
The mayor says people are and always have been busy, but the emphasis has shifted.
We're doing a lot more on social instead of physical interactions. Maybe that plays a part of it. Maybe it's just a generational thing. But the concerning thing is, if we're not volunteering, we're not part of civic organizations, we're getting a lot more dependency on the government, we're getting a lot more dependency on the schools, and we don't know our neighbors. That's a dangerous situation.
That situation will be a focus over the next 4 years.
Something like the community center. That's what that's for. How do you bring community together? How do people know each other? How do people work together? So the community center actually addresses some of that, but we also have some great foundations. Midlands Community Foundation, the Papillion Community Foundation, great places to volunteer and give back. What can we do to help raise awareness of their missions and their needs? We have one of the best Lions clubs in the region, but they don't have a lot of people under 40 years old. And I know they're specifically on a recruitment, and they've got some their leadership is under 40. There's people that want to be involved. I just don't know if people know the opportunity. So it's one of the things I think we're going to be doing out of it.
Children's author Kathy Rigg is no stranger to getting a book published. Current technology has changed the publishing process.
Anytime you can offer different ways to do something and then bring technology into it, I always think it's better. So, there are lots of smaller independent publishers. I publish with a smaller independent publisher, which is a great opportunity for me. I've self-published as well. I know plenty of authors who've gone the traditional route and they get an agent and they go with one of the big publishers.
What you choose depends upon what works for you.
Having that self-publishing platform available has just opened up so many doors for so many more people who do want to write and, get their stories out there. Of course, you have to do your own, self-promoting and things like that. And a lot of times authors, that can be a little bit scary. But if you put some effort into it, you just have to find your audience and find, your niche.
Finding your audience also helps to promote your work.
With my particular current series, which is all stories about, adventure stories about geocaching, the hobby of geocaching. And I have been lucky enough to find a great partner with geocaching.com. They carry my books in their, geocaching store out in Seattle and online. And so right there, it's, an audience that is interested in it.
Rigg is involved with Sump Library's children's authors events, and she suggests that writers and would-be writers should join writing groups.
Nebraska Writers Guild is a wonderful organization. I've been to several of their conferences. I'm also a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, and which is another wonderful nationwide organization. There's a local chapter as well, and in fact, I'm in a critique group with a number of other, children's writers who, came from SCBWI. So, yes, anytime you can network with other writers in any capacity, doesn't matter if it's your genre or not, you're going to be better off.
The local children's author encourages those who think about writing but haven't taken that next step.
Everyone has a story to tell. Whether it's your own story, whether it's a creative story that has kind of been, simmering in your mind for years, everyone has a story to tell, and everyone has a unique way to tell that story. So if you decide to sit down and, you're ready to tell that story, I absolutely think that you should.
Rigg points out, while it can be intimidating to go public, you shouldn't let that stop you.
Don't be afraid. It can be a scary thing to put yourself out there and to put your story and your words out there, but there are so many supportive people. I would say that the community that supports authors is phenomenal. You can really, really find all kinds of support, and I think taking that leap of faith to actually sit down and do it. I always say whenever I'm editing other authors' manuscripts, the first thing I say is congratulations on completing it, because that is the, that's the biggest accomplishment is simply having a completed manuscript.
We want to remind you of some great upcoming events. There's the 13th annual Daddy-Daughter Date Night on Thursday, February 8th at Karen's Fireside. And there's also the Mother-Son Movie Night. Choose from 2 dates, Tuesday, February 6th and Tuesday, February 20th. Please go to the Recreation Department page on the city's website to register and for more information. There are lots of ways to stay up to date with what's happening. You can find us on Facebook, follow the City of Papillion on Twitter, or watch our YouTube channel. Information about all of our departments and programs is available on our website. For more about Papillion, go to www.papillion.org or just call the Mayor's Hotline at 402-827-1111. Thanks for watching.